I'm Mike, owner of the In Groove in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm doing the new arrival video for February 26th, 2024. And I have two absolutely packed rows to show you guys this week. It's like back-to-back huge new arrival weeks. A lot of new arrivals, a couple of restocks here and there. And I'm also going to show you some stuff. I'm doing a whatnot auction beginning of the month. I'll tell you about that in a minute. First, I wanted to start with the two big pre-orders that were announced this week. The first one is from Coherent Records. That is Kevin Gray's label. That is Anthony Wilson's Hackensack West. It's going to come out sometime in March. I talked to Kevin a little bit about it in depth this week. We're shooting for the beginning of March. Very, very possible, but could lead into the end of March. So I don't have an exact date yet, but the minute I get them, they'll be on their way to you. Kind of cool. If you guys have been following the store, we are the distributor for the label. So no matter what, every single record that you'll buy anywhere in the world from Coherent will actually come to the In Groove first. So even if you don't buy it from me, which you should, but even if you don't buy it from me, it will have been in this building. So it's kind of cool. So that's going to be the first, big release that we start shipping to customers and retail stores. I've heard parts of it online. I heard parts of it when I visited Kevin in August, but I think you guys are going to be really impressed. This is not only a sonically fantastic record, but for absolute top tier musicians, like the top of their game, playing jazz, put this record together. So not only is it sonically great, all valve, all the way from the microphone to the cutting edge. It's an entire valve chain, but direct to 2-track, it's the real deal. It's the real vintage direct to 2-track 1950s style recording. If you guys have gotten the Kirsten Ekins, the first record he did, you guys know what I mean. Fantastic record. This is a guitar-based record versus, horn. But I'm looking forward to it. It's exciting. I know the numbers that, I can't say it, but I know the numbers that Kevin's doing, and I'm kind of seeing how it's selling already in pre-sale. Kevin wants all of his records to be in print for, he wants people to be able to get them. He's not trying to make collectibles or anything. But I can tell you, I feel almost like the way this is going, the initial run is going to sell out before or very shortly after it's released, but quite possibly, before. And then, there's going to be a little lag time getting the second pressing out. The second run. I guess it's more of a continuation as opposed to a second pressing. It happened with the Kirsten Ekins. I want to say that Kirsten Ekins went through 4 represses before we finally caught up. I mean, it was one of those things. It was started a little bit more conservatively because, nobody knew how it was going to do. First record by not an unknown artist, but a worldwide unknown artist. Kirsten's quite popular in Southern California, but a new label, an unknown artist. So, he went a little conservative on it, but that ended up selling like gangbusters. This is a whole different tier of musicians. So it'll be interesting to see how this does. I'm looking forward to this. This has been exciting to be able to do this with Kevin. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, but it's up for pre-order now. Also, on a side note, I normally don't do this because of the way we process customs, but you can actually, no matter where you are in the world, you can pre-order this album. Just keep in mind, whatever you pre-order it with will not ship until the Anthony Wilson comes in stock. Also, they announced Norah Jones' next album. It's called Vision. I've got the indie exclusive with an alternate cover on the website. I think it's like a sunrise orange with an alternate cover. That comes out March 8th. I listened to one of the tracks. It's an extremely good track. The track I listened to, it's not a jazz tune at all. It kind of almost has that Lana Del Rey, Mazzy Star vibe. It's really good. There's one track I think available to stream. Listen to it. It's quite good. Like I said, more of like on the pop side. Okay, and then at the end I will show you, I'm doing on February 4th, I'm doing a first pressing whatnot auction. So it's going to be like 100 to 200 records. Every single thing on the auction is going to be a first pressing. It might be a first UK, might be a first US, Could be a first pressing Japanese, but it's mostly US pressings. And most everything in this collection is really clean, like real close to near mint if it's not near mint. Very few records aren't of that caliber. But I'll show you a small sliver of them towards the end. Okay, new from Sam Records. This was a pre-order for quite some time. This is from Sam Records, the Shahab, the Danish radio jazz group. Absolutely fantastic record. Kevin Gray mastered this. Original this record's about $5,000. The Japanese did a repressing of this, which was a couple $100 last I looked. But now in print, in high quality Sam Records fashion, it's here. And this is musically, this is a fantastic record. I've always wanted this record. It's one of those high dollar grails I've been looking for years, but they come up so very infrequently, and they're typically not in a condition I would pay for. You know, I want something, if you're going to spend the money, for me, I want a higher grade. You know, I want a near mint record or real close to it. But yeah, I've listened to this maybe 4 or 5 times. Really enjoy it. I've got some of them came with dented corners, and I put them on the website at a reduced price. So if you want that, it's on there. If you don't want it, make sure you don't buy the one that says with cosmetic damage. Also, the Heath Brothers. Paris, 1976. Those were the 2 new releases from Sam Records. Also, MoFi is really starting to crank out the titles. It seems like the last 3 months, they're moving things along. But we've got the new Joni Mitchell Blue one-step limited edition of 12,000, pressed on super vinyl. But yeah, in the new, much better, thinner one-step box. Ooh, I meant to show you guys. I got a big restock of Japanese SACD, CD, and vinyl records. I'll show you the CDs first. This is a multi-channel SACD, so it's quadraphonic. Super cool what they did. You know, let me give you an idea of what's in this real quick. It's wild. The amount of stuff you get. There's posters, stickers, original tickets. It's a really cool package. Go online, check these out. If you're an SACD fan, these are exceptionally well done. So I've got Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. I've got Santana 3. This is a SQ quadraphonic. So I think you have the stereo and quadraphonic mixes on these. That's SACD. Love, Devotion, and Surrender with John McLaughlin. You've got Santana's Welcome. And the Super Sessions. This is SAC quadraphonic as well. And Toto 4. So this is, of course, this didn't originally come out quadraphonic, but this has not only the 2-channel, but this also has a 5.1 channel surround sound mix on this as well. Okay, so from Sam Records, a few of restocks. I've got Chet Baker with Bobby Jasper. I've got the Ronell Bright Trio. Love Sam Records, absolutely fantastic. Look at the quality. I've showed you guys this before, but look at the quality. They replicate the original flip backs. He goes to the original photographs, grabs the original negatives. Fantastic work on these. One of my favorite labels. It's a small boutique label out of France that specializes in jazz. But Lester Young. But a lot of these musicians back in the 50s and the 60s, a lot of American musicians like Chet Baker would go overseas and record studio albums. A lot of people here don't realize that because it's kind of unthinkable when you think of like a rock artist. You know, you wouldn't find somebody like, you know, whatever, Toto going to Japan and doing a specific album only for the Japanese market, or excuse me, for the European French market. But that's what a lot of these jazz guys did in the 50s. Clark Terry, featuring Paul Gone Slaves. This is Miles Davis soundtrack with Barney Weil, Elevator to the Gallows. This originally came out like this, right? With the 10-inch flip back. It was a Fontana release. So the original is exactly like this. But I think it came out later on Columbia as jazz tracks. But got a restock of that. And the Barney Weiland Quintet. But like this didn't originally come in as a flip back. It came as like a real thick type cover, and that's what he replicated. So Sam does an absolutely fantastic job on these. I highly recommend it. Got some Lost Recording, new releases and restocks. The Marie Callas box, live in Berlin, 1955. This is number 1059. I think what they do, 2,000 or 3,000 of these. This is a 3 LP box set. Okay. Normally my restocks come 2-day air, but for some reason, not restocks, my new arrivals, I should have showed you guys these a week or two, but these mistakenly got put on a pallet, and then the pallet got stuck in a snowstorm in Kentucky. But I've got both. I've got the indie exclusive and the standard variation of Grateful Dead's Terrapin Station. So that's the black vinyl. And then I've got the limited edition green vinyl indie store, brick and mortar store exclusive. Same thing with In the Dark. I've got the standard black vinyl. And I've got the brick and mortar store exclusive on silver vinyl. Public Image, we've got first issue. Let's see, pressed on metallic silver wax, housed in an expanded gatefold jacket. Riley Green, Ain't My Last Rodeo. Exodus, Blood In, Blood Out, 10th anniversary on clear, gold, and black splatter vinyl. Some more Exodus. We've got Tempo of the Dam, 20th anniversary on yellow and red splatter vinyl. We've got Nas. This is Magic 3. Limited edition striped vinyl. Journey's Greatest Hits, and unlike the original, they actually separated this onto 2 discs. So sonically it should be quite an improvement over the original, which was too much music for, you know, one single disc. Let's see, remastered 2024 for vinyl from the original stereo flat master tapes. 180 gram audiophile vinyl. This is the Sony release. Music on Vinyl did this before, but now Sony themselves is doing it. Boingo Boingo, the self-titled debut EP. This is a yellow and purple vinyl pressing, limited to 500 copies. 500 copies, limited on yellow and purple vinyl. All right, so this is kind of cool. So Sundays, I think this is Sundays, right? Or one of their offshoots. Yeah, Sundays. This is the Tangerine Zoo. So they're doing some psych stuff, but I'm not mistaken. This is, I want to say these are all analog cut by Kevin Gray from the master tapes. I'll have to check the hype on it. Let's check it out. They don't actually come sealed. They come in this generic fold-over sleeve. Yeah, so it's cut by Kevin Gray. I thought I saw the blurb online that said this was cut from the original analog tape, but how cool is that? We're getting some all-analog Kevin Gray cut psych. And then I also have, and I believe this is all analog cut by Kevin Gray as well, the Superfine Dandelion, and this is actually a local band right here out of Phoenix, Arizona. They ended up doing some stuff on some small labels here in Phoenix and then went to mainstream. This is pressed on blue vinyl. Benny the Butcher, Everybody Can't Go. But yeah, check the website. I'm pretty sure the blurb on that says they were cut from tape by Kevin. Shaka Khan, I'm Every Woman Live. This is limited edition, only 500 made on haze vinyl. It kind of looks like white, purple, and dark purple. They're doing a ton of these now playing, and they've actually been really good. It's kind of nice. They're essentially like budget greatest hits comps, but they're all called Now Playing. But they're single discs. They're 20 bucks. Ray Charles, Now Playing. But you've got I've Got a Woman, Mess Around, Hallelujah, I Love Her So, What I Say, the nighttime is the right time. So, I mean, it's a great single disc, greatest hits, but they're called Now Playing. All the same price, 20 bucks. This is on transparent bouncing red vinyl. We've got Zap and Curtis Mayfield. Transparent, peaceful purple vinyl. Now, I myself am not a huge greatest hits fan, but these are great for people coming into the store. Folks coming in, just getting a record player, you know, vinyl's not cheap. So if you want to start a collection up, a lot of people like the greatest hits because it's a lot of music, you know, a lot of listenable music for not a lot of money. We've got the new Rhino, Start Your Year Off Right of Black Sabbath, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. This is on a limited edition smoke vinyl. All right, from Sundays, we've got Now Here's Johnny Cash. MF Doom's Mad Villain. I think this is just a restock. I got some of the Kate Bush restocks as well. These are the Fish People reissues that are on colored vinyl. This is a double, kind of like a red vinyl. But I'm starting to get restocks on those. Those have actually been quite popular. But Kate Bush's stuff has not been in print in a while. So let me guys show you some of the restocks and new releases from Sony Japan. And you guys hear me talk quite a bit about how I'm not a huge fan of Japanese pressings. But the stuff they were doing in the 70s doesn't hold a candle to what they're coming out with now. I actually really dig the Sony stuff. They're all, the Sony Japan stuff, I'm almost positive these are cut from DSD files. But look at the effort they go through to make these. So this is Miles Davis, Miles Head. Miles Davis's Miles Ahead. So, like all Japanese, they come in this resealable sleeve. But look at the quality of these covers. They like replicate, also the construction. They replicate these jackets wonderfully, right? They don't ship the record in the jacket. They give it its own 12-inch sleeve. You know, a DJ sleeve, and then of course it's shipped in the Japanese sleeve. But I have been blown away by the quality and sound of these Japanese Sony. Now these are pressed at Sony Japan, and I might be the only one talking about it, but I'll tell you what, Sony Japan is making, with RTI and QRP, the absolute highest quality vinyl you're going to hear. Every Sony Japan record I've listened to is absolutely immaculate. Even better than the stuff that was coming out in the 80s. It's unbelievable the quality of the stuff I'm getting out of Sony Japan. But from the same series, you've got Miles Davis's Sorcerer, Miles Davis's Nefertiti. Okay, now this is... So there's some stuff that's analog, some stuff that is DSD. It just depends on the label. The problem is my Japanese is not too good, so reading this is a little bit difficult. But this is actually pressed at Optimal, and it looks like it has the Japanese mastering, but same quality. John Lewis and Shasa. I'm gonna screw it up. In my brain, I can hear it in my brain, but it's not coming to my lips. Afternoon in Paris, same real high quality jacket. This is a great record. I actually got an original up there for sale for entirely way too long. It's, you know, what, a couple $100, 150, 200 bucks, but for as good as this record is, I should have sold this a long time ago. This is the Curtis Fuller Quintet South American Cookbook, and I think it's only because it's on Epic. If this was like a Blue Note record, this would be a $3,000 record. But fantastic record. This is also out of Sony Japan. This is a new one, so I haven't listened to this. Miles Davis's Milestones. Miles Davis, 4 and More, recorded live in concert. Sonny Rollins, The Bridge. Now, I didn't receive all of these yet, so if I run out of these and they're not on the website, put a restock notification in. I've got more on the way. They'll be here in a couple days, I think. The newest from Smile, The Smile, Wall of Eyes. This is the Radiohead kind of offshoot. I think this is their second album. So I've got the standard black vinyl and the blue vinyl. They're doing some Fela Kuti reissues. Let's see. Noise for Vendor Mouth. Absolutely love Fela Kuti. These aren't, you know, modern audiophile records, but musically they're fantastic. Why Black Men Die Suffer. I'm gonna check on the covers to make sure I can show them to you. Fela Kuti, Excuse. Oh. Love the, I've got 4 or 5 Fela Kuti originals, you know, probably what would be considered like Nigerian near mint. So like, you know, G++ here in the States. But these are kind of nice. They're affordable and they're not, you know, absolutely destroyed out of the packaging like every Nigerian record for the most part you find. Calcutta Show. Susan Chudesky, Just Won't Burn. 25th anniversary on black vinyl. We've got Tom Odell, Black Friday. God almighty, there's so many records. Sarah Horsey, Polaroid Lovers. Connor Smith, Smoky Mountains on smoky marbled colored vinyl. Little Tech. What kind of speakers does he have there? The Black Classical Music. Yusuf Days. Actually, somebody recommended me listening to this. To listen to this. I might do that this week. If I remember. Stevie Nicks, Trouble in Shangri-La. They're doing a couple of her like nearly impossible to find records on the Rhino Start Your Ear Off Right. I think there's another one coming up. Frank Black and the Catholics. Half Speed Master. Another Stevie Nicks. This is on translucent red vinyl. Street Angel. The Helicopters. Eyes of Oblivion. From Org Music. It's kind of cool. Phil Ranelin, The Found Tapes, live in Los Angeles. 4 LPs of previously unreleased live recordings from 1978 to 1981 by Tribe Records co-founder and trombone legend Phil Ranelin. Includes the full set from the maiden voyage on July 19th, 1981. Love everything on Tribe. It's an absolute fantastic avant-garde funk label. Looking forward to that. I think this is a reissue from Record Store Day. Keith Richards, Vintage Winos. What is this? Just looks like a Keith Richards Greatest Hits compilation. We've got Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, the original motion picture soundtrack, limited to 1,000 copies. Music by Tan Dun and Yo-Yo Ma. We've got the Dead Poet Society's Fission on white vinyl. Zach Bryan, Dean. We've got Zach Bryan's Summertime Blues. Coulter Wall, self-titled on red vinyl. Coulter Wall's Songs of the Plains on red vinyl. We've got from Music on Vinyl, they're doing a lot of weather report, but this is Mysterious Traveler, limited to 1,500 copies on blue and red marble vinyl. This is the Menzingers. Some of It Was True on colored vinyl. Cherry Bomb Splash on the back. Is that the color? That might be the color. Madlib. Flying High Instrumentals. All right, new from the Lost Recordings, we've got Ella Fitzgerald's Live in East Berlin, 1967. I think some of these are restocks. The Dave Brubeck Quartet, live in the Netherlands in 1958. Dexter Gordon and Donald Byrd, the Berlin Studio Session, 1963. This is the numbered first pressing. Joanna Marzi, the unreleased and rare recordings. First pressing again, number 1221. And the Oscar Peterson Trio, live at Concertbrau, 1961. Okay, that's row one. Now let's do row two. We've got Red, Rated R. Ty Segall, Three Bells. We've got Hella, Hold Your Horses. Had to make sure that was a mistake because it's Hold Your Horse Is. I'm like, did they botch up when they created that label? No, that's the name of the album. Marty Robbins, Gunfighter Ballads. This is on Gunsmoke Swirl vinyl. Marty Robbins. Sun Ra and his Solar Mythic Orchestra. This is on Actuel originally, so this is what? BYG Records. I love the back. This is on white vinyl. Christmas with Buck Owens. Now, a lot of the Buck Owens stuff as well was cut from the original analog tape. Yeah. This all analog edition. So this is an all analog Kevin Gray cut as well. But so is the rest of, I think, the Sundays catalog. Yeah. So all analog. So any of these that I have in stock from Sundays are also all analog cut by Kevin Gray. Cocteau Twins, Milk and Kisses. Cocteau Twins. For Calendar Cafe. Okay, so the rest of this I'm going to show you is Analogue Productions restock, and then I will show you what is going on the first pressing auction for Whatnot. So I got a huge restock from Analogue Productions. This is part 2 of it. Oliver Nelson's Screaming of the Blues. Love the prestige stuff. 50 titles, all analog, cut from the original master tape by Kevin Gray. John Coltrane's Lush Life. The market loves these things as well because when they weren't in print, they were $200, $300, $400 a piece. Eric Dolphy's Out There. Eric Dolphy's At the 5 Spot. Booker Irvin, The Freedom Book. Hank Mobley's Message. We've got Steppenwolf's Greatest Hits. This is the 45 RPM version. This was done by Kevin Gray as well. Analogue Productions uses different mastering engineers, but Kevin Gray did the prestige stuff. Roy Orbison's Crying. This is an unbelievably fantastic sounding recording. Shahrazad, Reiner. Classical stuff they did was fantastic. Jackie McLean's 4, 5, and 6. Strauss's Also Sprach Zarathustra. Or for you Elvis fans, you know the entrance music. Our 2001 Space Odyssey. Buddy Holly's self-titled album with Peggy Sue. This I talked about for years as being an absolute fantastic record. I was trying to tell somebody about this, and I had to crack one open and put it in my sound room because this thing is unbelievable. Tennessee Ernie Ford's Country Hits, Feeling Blue. His voice, pretty magical. I'm not, you know, Tennessee Ernie Ford is not typically my go-to, but that is not only sonically a great record, it's actually a great vocal record. Nobody ever generally picks it up on their own unless they're looking or like they know about it. But I'll tell you, when I play it in the store, people buy it. Elvis is back. Got a restock, I think, on all the Elvis stuff. I think I showed the Elvis 24 karat hits last week. And Elvis Stereo 1957. So those are the three between that and Elvis 24 karat hits are the three that Analogue Productions did. All Night Long, the Prestige All-Stars. Hank Mobley's Tenor Conclave. And this is a absolutely fantastic record, and also the most expensive record in the Prestige catalog. If you find like an original, about $4 or $5 grand. Tommy Flanagan Trio, Overseas. It was recorded overseas, but Tommy Flanagan is overseas. Get it? It's funny. Taylor's Wailers. Art Taylor. Tony Joe White, Black and White. Eric Dolphy's Outward Bound. The Prestige All-Stars, All Morning Long. There's an all day long, all morning long, and an all night long. Billie Holiday's Songs for Distinguished Lovers. This is a 45 RPM. From the Prestige series, we've got Booker Ervin's Extrulation. Now, the previous Shahrazad I showed you was 33 RPM, but if you want the woofer wower, that is this one, the 45 RPM. It'll exercise your cones, I promise you. Stevie Ray Vaughan's Couldn't Stand the Weather, 45 RPM. Billie Holiday's Lady in Satin. This is the 45 RPM, and actually one of their newer releases. I think that uses the Bernie Grumman Cut Classic Record stampers. Gene Ammons, Boss Tenor. I love this record here. The Power of the Orchestra. This is got pictures of it, pictures at an exhibition and Night on Bear Mountain. But this has like the wind machine on it, as opposed to most recordings of this. And it's pretty wild. Great record. Got a reel-to-reel of it as well. Gil Evans and 10. This is the Analogue Productions version. Analogue Productions did a copy of this, and I also have the Record Store Day mono version, also cut by Kevin Gray, which is a little cheaper. I've got both of them in stock. And Stokowski's Rhapsodies, 45 RPM. Let me show you guys a little bit of a preview of some of the, which is probably going to be a couple hundred records going up on Whatnot. And I'm going to start with one of the only really like non-minty records, but it's a first pressing. It is a Led Zeppelin II Robert Ludwig. Click the link below. Follow the Whatnot auction. You can see photographs and descriptions and grading on all these records. An original, Misfits, Die, Die, My Darling, and Legacy of Brutality. So there's a hodgepodge in this collection. Really clean, Cult, Love. I mean, look how clean all this stuff is. Kraftwerk's The Man Machine, original first pressing in shrink with the original $7.99 price tag. Steely Dan Asia, this is a really nice, just super clean AB first pressing. The very first Sparks album before they were even Sparks. It's Half Nelson. They actually renamed themselves Sparks and reissued this record later on with, I think, the Brick Wall cover. All US pressings. This is a Japanese first pressing of Kiss Alive. First pressing of Joni Mitchell Blue on Reprise, US pressing. The Grateful Dead on the green Warner Brothers label. Some Frank Zappa in this. I mean, and then albums like this that are not as common as they once were, but look at this. Tears for Fears, songs from the big chair. Super clean in the shrink with the hype sticker. I've got some more common albums just like this. The Rolling Stones, Tattoo You, but in the shrink with the hype sticker. An original first pressing of Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. First pressing of the Ramones' Rocket to Russia. First pressing of the Cars with the hype sticker. First press of the Clash Standista in the shrink with a hype sticker. Very difficult to find in the shrink. Another record I don't know if I've ever come across in the shrink. Patti Smith's Horses. Super clean first pressing in the shrink. UK copy of the Smiths' Hatful of Hollow. This is a UK first pressing of Yes's Fragile. And I've got a first UK pressing of Fleetwood Mac's Mr. Wonderful on Blue Horizon. But there's a ton more, and I'm actually still going to be putting up quite a bit of titles here this upcoming week. But yeah, I think it's February 4th, so it's the Sunday like in between, like the Sunday before the Super Bowl. Right? I think that's the Sunday before the Super Bowl. If it's not, if it's like the championship weekend, we're going to be rescheduling. But I think I timed it right. But yeah, everything else is available online at the website at theingroove.com. Until next time.